Love Dance Scotland Recovery Bursaries. Citymoves Dance Agency, Dance Base Scotland, Dundee Rep and Scottish Dance Theatre and Tramway Glasgow are pleased to announce their collaboration on a nationwide programme of support for Scotland-based independent artists to support them to return to their practice and create with a process and timescale that works for them. The last 18 months have had a profound impact on the arts sector, with the performance and creative landscape being shut down overnight. As we start to re-emerge from this time and look to re-engage with our work, our colleagues and our audiences, Citymoves Dance Agency, Dance Base Scotland, Dundee Rep and Scottish Dance Theatre and Tramway Glasgow have joined together to deliver the Love Dance Scotland Recovery Bursaries, a programme of financial and in-kind support for Scotland-based professional dance artists to provide the time, money and space for them to re-engage with their creative practice and with a process that works for them. The fund of £70,000 will support approximately 12 artists to devise and deliver a project of recovery that gives them what they need now, with projects running from October to December 2021. We anticipate that the Love Dance Scotland projects will focus on one of two main areas, or a combination of the two. To provide artists with the space, time and resources to engage with a slow process to reignite their creative practice. This could be a period of research of an idea, a gentle return to practice, or time for a period of connection and partnership building, and a focused period of research and development for a current idea, or one that has been on pause over the last 18 months. This may require studio space and other collaborators and could take place in person or remotely. Each project must incorporate an element of audience engagement and provide a way for the artist to reconnect or establish links with their audience after this period of separation. This could range from a blog post featuring writings or clips documenting the process, to working with the public to create and develop an idea, right up to a work-in-progress sharing, organised and promoted in collaboration with the Love Dance Scotland partners. These elements can be delivered in person or digitally, whatever suits you best. The goal is to provide a way for audiences to reconnect with your creative practice. Therefore, this element is open to you and should reflect what you feel will strengthen your work, process and connection to audiences again. Projects will be required to take place between October and December 2021, and the duration of each project will be determined by the applicant. For example, you may need 1 day a week for 3 months to re-engage with your process slowly, or you may prefer to have 2 weeks working with a collaborator and testing out ideas with an audience. This programme of support is driven by what you need, and each project will be different and unique. Tell us what you need and when you need it, and the Love Dance Scotland partners will use the bursaries and their own resources to support this as best we can. This programme is supported through the Performing Arts Venue Relief Fund from Scottish Government and Creative Scotland, which aims to reconnect artists, audiences, venues and communities, and to celebrate the vibrancy of dance in Scotland and the diverse array of voices that make it what it is. What the Love Dance Scotland Recovery Bursaries provide. We are seeking proposals from independent dance artists and choreographers based in Scotland for projects that will provide them with a programme of recovery and reconnection, both with their practice and their audience. Each project must take place by the end of December 21. Full funding will be provided to cover artist fees and project delivery costs, and supported by an offer of in-kind support, including connection to the Love Dance Scotland partner venue audiences to aid research, feedback and development as required, marketing support from the Love Dance Scotland partner venues as appropriate. This will include cross-promotion of audience engagement processes, dramaturgy support from the Love Dance Scotland partner venues, in particular Bush Hartshorn from Dance Base, and connection to external mentors where possible and required, partnership building and connection with existing partner contacts and with external groups or organisations where possible, and possible studio space at the 4 partner venues when and if available. Exact number and dates agreed in consultation with the artist and venue, and please note that these are limited and that the venues may not be able to provide the dates requested. We advise that you budget for additional venue hire in your application. Black, Indigenous and people of colour and deaf and disabled artists. The Love Dance Scotland partners recognise that there are significant barriers to working in the dance sector and that these challenges are experienced more acutely by those facing marginalisation and deep-rooted systemic injustice. This includes people with protected characteristics as defined by the Equality Act 2010 across age, disability, gender reassignment, marriage and civil partnership, pregnancy and maternity, race, religion or belief, sex and sexual orientation, alongside those with chronic illness, neurodiversity, parental and caring responsibilities, experience of the immigration system and people from working class and criminal class backgrounds. We are committed to increasing the diversity of artists working in our sector and especially welcome applications from those who identify as having characteristics currently underrepresented in our sector. As part of our ongoing commitment to support artists who have this lived experience and ensuring that we support the full vibrancy of the dance sector in Scotland, we guarantee that at least one of the awards will be made to a lead artist who identifies as a member of the Black, Indigenous and People of Colour communities, and that at least one will go to a lead artist who identifies as deaf or disabled. This is a minimum, but not a limit. Artists are invited to identify if they are part of these communities on the cover sheet, and this will be brought into the decision panel making as the awards are allocated. Who the Love Dance Scotland Recovery Bursaries are for. The Love Dance Scotland Recovery Bursaries are for artists who see their work as based in physical or choreographic practices. Formal dance or choreographic training is not a requirement. Who see themselves as working at a professional level and are at any stage of their career. Who are predominantly based in Scotland. This applies to the lead artist. You can welcome collaborators from outside Scotland, and who are interested in exploring how audiences are centred in their approach, not just in presentation but in process. The Love Dance Scotland Recovery Bursaries are not open to artists who are predominantly based outside of Scotland, artists who are in full-time academic study, regularly funded organisations. The budget. The Love Dance Scotland partners commit to providing the full funding that each artist requires to deliver their project and to pay themselves and their collaborators fairly. Applicants are asked to complete the sample budget and submit this with their application. Our producing team are on hand to support applicants who have questions about creating a budget. When creating your budget, we ask you to ensure that your payment rates abide by the minimum fair pay standards as laid out by the ITC. The Love Dance Scotland Recovery Bursaries have a total budget of £70,000, with £60,000 being allocated to artists. We anticipate that this will support approximately 12 projects. The remaining £10,000 will be used to support access requirements for each project as required, alongside marketing and promotion of the selected projects. Funds from the Love Dance Scotland Recovery Bursaries will support artist fees for those taking part in line with fair pay standards, travel and accommodation expenses, studio and venue hire, mentoring and dramaturgy support, materials such as props and costume with an understanding of the total budget available, technical expenses or hire costs with an understanding of the total budget available, audience engagement expenses such as participant travel costs, etc., with an understanding of the total budget available, marketing and promotional, professional development or training. We expect a high rate of applications and envisage that unfortunately our budget of £70,000 will not be able to support all the applications that we receive. We therefore ask that when compiling your budget that you consider any additional funding that you have in place to support the project already and incorporate this into your request accordingly. For example, if you have Creative Scotland funding to support the lead artist's time already, this cost shouldn't appear in your ask. This will ensure that we can support the largest number of artists possible. Budget to support access requirements. The Love Dance Scotland partners are committed to ensuring that all artists can access this support programme. 10% of our overall budget, £7,000, will be ring-fenced to support access requirements for artists and their collaborators to deliver their projects as required. Access costs do not need to appear in your project budget. Any associated costs or adjustments will be discussed with the successful applicants after funding decisions have been made. Applicants who wish to make us aware of any needs in advance are welcome to notify Kirsty Somerville, Programmes Manager at DanceBase, or include details in their application. This is not a requirement as it will have no bearing on the decision outcome. If you have any questions or would like to discuss this further, please contact Kirsty at kirsty.somerville@dancebase.co.uk. How to apply. To apply, applicants will be invited to complete and submit the following form. An application form with an expression of interest answering the following questions. What do you need to support the return to your creative practice? How can the Love Dance Scotland Recovery Bursaries support this? Where do you see this process taking place and on what timescale? How will you engage with audiences during this project? And anything that you want us to know that we haven't asked. This should be either as a video or audio recording of no more than 6 minutes or in a written format of no more than 800 words. Visual quality, camera and editing skills will not be taken into consideration for film submissions, and spelling and grammar will not form part of the consideration of written applications. A project budget. The budget should detail the fees that you require to deliver your project. A cover sheet. This asks for your contact information, which will be removed from your application by our producing team prior to sending it to the decision-making panel. A link to more information about your practice. This could be a CV, personal statement, or a link to your website. A completed equality, diversity and inclusion monitoring form, if you feel comfortable to do so. These should be sent to Kirsty Somerville, Programmes Manager at Dancebase, on kirsty.somerville@dancebase.co.uk. That's KIRSTYSOMERVILLE@dancebase.co.uk. The deadline is Monday the 20th of September at 11 o'clock. The panel meet on Monday the 27th of September. Artists are informed on Friday the 1st of October. Judging criteria. The selection panel will be comprised of Hayley Durwood, Citymoves Dance Agency, Tony Mills, Dance Base Scotland, Joanne Clevier, Dundee Rep and Scottish Dance Theatre, and LJ Findlay Walsh, Tramway Glasgow, and 2 external panellists, including practising artists who represent a wide demographic of lived experiences. The panel will base their decision on a range of factors, including the information provided in the expression of interest, how the applicant proposes to engage with the audience as part of each project, the geographic spread of projects, the diversity of voices represented through the projects, and the overall distribution of opportunities across the sector. Should you wish to have a conversation about the application process, require this information in an alternative format, or have access requirements we need to meet to support you in making an application, please contact Kirsty Somerville, Programmes Manager at Dancebase, on kirsty.somerville@dancebase.co.uk.